What's up, world? What's up? It's Chef JT, the fat boy himself. I'm back again for another quick cooking segment. Today, I felt like curry, so we're gonna do curry. And I'm using ingredients that I found in my refrigerator. Once again, remember I told you, you don't have to necessarily put certain things in dishes. You can put whatever you want to put in your dish because it's your dish, your palate, your taste buds, what you like. So this is what I'm going to use in my curry. All right, starting right here. I have some fresh kale. All right. I have some broccoli. I also have some broccoli stems. I'm going to show you guys what to do with these broccoli stems. I have some cabbage, red onion. I have some celery here, some asparagus, some carrot, some sweet potato, some bell pepper, yellow squash and zucchini, garlic and ginger, some spices here, some fresh cilantro. All right. So when working with curry, you have to be careful because there's different types of curry. They have there's a Jamaican curry. There's also Indian curry. And what I like to do, I like to flavor both of them. So what I do is I like to make my own spice blends usually, and I combine them to make my own curry mix. Let me show you. Right here, I have some Jamaican curry, I have some madras Indian curry, and I have some garam masala. And garam masala is a mix of some spices like coriander, cloves, garlic, cumin, and they all come together to make a flavor profile that's very similar to curry, but it's a little nuttier. And so when I mix both of those curries with the garam masala, it's on point. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. So when cooking all these different vegetables, you have to be careful how you cook them. All right, because every vegetable cooks in different time. So you have to. It has to kind of make sense that you cut up something that's going to be that takes a long time to cook. So for right now, I'm going to start with my carrots. Now carrots, guys, are delicious, but they're very hard. All right. Now, with that being said, we're going to start here. I like mine very, very chunky. I don't do the small chunks. You know, it's the fat boy, so I like stuff really chunky. Now I'm cutting these up first because I'm going to put these into my pan first. Now as we cut all of these different vegetables, I'll be adding different vegetables at different points. That's why I'm doing it this way. All right? All right. One more carrot. Now, you can, if you don't have time or you don't want to, you can actually grab a frozen carrot mix from your local grocery store, and it works fine. Me personally, I just want to do fresh because fresh is what I do. I have the time, everybody's at home, so this is a perfect time to cook dishes like this. All right? So now, while my skillet is getting hot, the next thing that I'm gonna cut is my red onion. Now the red onion I want to be in bigger chunks. So I'm just going here and cutting into bigger chunks, all right? Now, the end I leave because it's kind of hard, it's kind of unappealing, and so I really don't use it, all right? Now, I'm doing this in a way where I know what's gonna go first and I know what's gonna go second, all right? The third thing I'm gonna do is sweet potato. Now, most curries don't necessarily have sweet potato, but I put them in there because I just love sweet potatoes. Once again, whatever you want. Now, because I want these to cook kind of quickly, I'm doing them a little bit smaller than I would normally do. But because I have so many vegetables, it's gonna be great. All right, let's just get it going. All right, it is cooking. All right, now what makes this curry a little bit different for most curries is I was kind of thinking about jambalaya today. So in my refrigerator, I found some spicy andouille sausage. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that also. Here it is. Now, I like my sausage very, very spicy. Now this cut that I'm doing right here is called a roll cut. I'm doing it this way because I like the way it looks in the curry, and it cooks very uniform, and it gets really, really caramelized on the edges, and the bits gets a little bit crunchy, and that's what I love. I love crunchy things in my food. All right. So, all right. First thing, follow me over. First thing, sweet potato and carrots. Now the heat may not be high now, but as soon as it starts to hit, it's going to really, really heat up. Okay? And I'm going to put my onion in there. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to add my sausage. Now, because we have curry, there's really no need to season these yet. You don't even need to do it, so don't even worry about it. You can continue doing what you're doing. Everything is big and it's chunky, and because it's going to be with curry and coconut milk and things like that, and it's going to have to cook down a little bit, I made them chunky so that all your vegetables won't fall apart as you cook them. All right. Next thing, bell pepper. Now a lot of people cut bell pepper very differently. Me, I like to cut my end off, the bottom of it off, so I can have something that's flat. Then I can put it on my cutting board. It's stationary. I don't have to worry about it moving or doing anything weird. I can put it right there and it stays there. And what I do is I just gradually go around the side. So then when I'm left, I'm just left with my core, because I wasn't going to use all this stuff anyway, and I was going to have to cut it all out anyway, so it's gone. All right, I'm going to take my bell pepper, I'm going to put it together, and I'm going to cut it all at the same time, in half, in big chunks. All right, big chunks. Now, since I cut these little pieces off the bottom, just one slice and they're ready to go too. All right. It's starting to smell already because of the onion in there. Looks great, looks great. Now once again, the reason I put these in here is because I know that it's going to take the sweet potatoes and onions a long time to cook. And I put them in there so that so I can start the cooking process. All right. All right. Now it's time for my sausage. Sausage in. Bell pepper in. Now it may seem like a lot that I'm doing as far as for ingredients, but hey, I have them in my refrigerator. Remember, I told you that I like to cook based on whatever I have in my house. So I make my dishes based on that. And that's why I do what I do. Play around with it, experiment. You never know. You might find some new flavor concepts, some new combinations that you actually like. All right. Next thing, squash, yellow squash. Now, there's a little flavor difference between yellow squash and green squash, or what they call zucchini, but the taste is pretty similar. That was kind of big, so I'm gonna cut this in the plate. All right. Now I have celery here, and I have the yellow squash. Now, there's a difference. My yellow squash I want to cook a little bit more, but my green squash I'm gonna add a little bit later because I don't want that to cook that much. Smells good, guys. As you see, It's starting to brown. You know, my carrots and sweet potatoes are starting to caramelize. That's what I want. Because the more caramelization, the more flavor. And more flavor, the better the dish is going to be. Flavor is what it's all about. And that's what I'm all about. For people who know me, they know I'm all about flavor. Now, the one thing I will do is use a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. All right. One more time. All right. Smelling great, guys. This is what it's all about. Home cooking, great food, restaurant quality food, right at home. Since you have the time, you might as well indulge yourself and cook a little bit. All right? Celery, going in. And my yellow squash, going in. Smelling good, y'all. Smelling very, very good. Next thing, I have kale here. A lot of people don't like kale, but kale is very good. It's very similar to other type of greens like mustard greens or collard greens. It's very similar to me to mustard greens. I like it because of the bitter notes that it has, and it's just crunchy, and the flavor profile is just really good when you add the curry. Right in. Now, it takes most greens a long time to cook, so it's the reason why I'm putting it in kind of early, because so that you'll have a chance to really, really cook it. And if you notice, I still haven't added any salt or pepper yet. All right. All right, guys. It's smelling very good. All right, back to it. All right. Next thing I'm gonna do, my broccoli. Now I told you guys that there's a little trick to this broccoli with the stems that I want to show you. I keep all of these things. I take them off and I keep them and I add them to my dish. Okay. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is cut my crown off, and I'm just gonna separate all of the broccoli. I'm just gonna rip it apart. This I don't want so big because it's going into a curry, and I want it about the same size as everything else so that it cooks evenly. All right. Perfect. Now, as I was talking, these I just throw them right on in. Now, people throw away the curry stalk a lot. And the reason why that they do that is because they think that there's nothing that you can do with it, but you can't. What you can do is peel it. If you have a good peeler, you can just go right through it and put it right on off. And I will tell you, if you love broccoli, you can eat the stem. It has the same profile and flavor as broccoli. And what I do is I like to peel these off and I put these right in my salad. Now, because when you peel off the skin, it's very, very tender. And these are going in. They're stems, so they're a little bit harder, so I put them into my curry. I waste nothing, guys. Excellent. Starting to caramelize, looking good. Now, I add a little bit of salt. Only a little bit. Now, I can tell you how much salt to put in a dish, but it's basically salt and pepper per your taste buds, because only you know what you like. I personally like a lot of flavor and not as much seasoning. But always remember, seasoning has nothing to do with flavor. You can season with salt and pepper, and something can be incredibly bland, or something can be very flavorful, but need a little bit of salt and pepper. So, flavoring and seasoning is totally different. Always remember that. You season with salt and pepper, you flavor with detonators, herbs, garlic, ginger, things that, make your dish pop. All right. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead. One thing. I'm going to put all of that in my curry mix. I'm putting it in now because I want the seasonings to kind of caramelize on the vegetables before I add the stock and add the coconut milk. Now, if you see at the bottom of my pan, there's nothing in there because the oil that I put in there, once you start to saute the vegetables, it starts to go away, or some of the vegetables starts to, absorb it, and so that's what I want. So this is flavor. I'm almost browning the curry powder that's on it, and that's exactly what I want to do. Smelling good, guys. Okay. Awesome. All right, now we're almost there. I can smell the garam masala and my two curries kind of caramelizing right in the pan. Because usually, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but even if you take fresh herbs or dry herbs, you can put them in a hot pan with no oil and let them toast, which is going to concentrate the flavors of whatever herbs that you do it, and it's going to make those herbs even better. And I'll have to show you guys that technique another time. All right, now right here I made some chicken stock. I had some chickens that I cooked down one day for 2 days with all kind of different herbs and vegetables, and I made some. I took a little bit out of the freezer and I put it in a pan with some red chili flakes because I want it to kind of be spicy. And so I'm going to put all of this stock in there. All right. Awesome. Guys, you should smell this. The smell is amazing. Okay. Now I have this up on high because I want this to kind of cook and reduce at the same time. All right. Second thing I have here is 2 cups of coconut milk. I'm gonna cook it down. Now, you guys, please don't be afraid to cook on high heat, especially if you're right here. Because I'm doing this, I don't want it to take 2 hours to cook. I'm trying to do this in a short amount of time, so this is why I have it on high. But it is one of the best ways to cook dishes that shouldn't require you to stay in the kitchen for hours and hours and hours. Now that's going to come to a boil momentarily, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to go back over and get the broccoli in, ready. So the broccoli is right here and it's ready. I have some asparagus. Remember I told you guys on the last video, and if you didn't watch it, watch the video. Here, this part of the asparagus is very fibrous. It's not edible. So normal asparagus, there's a certain point where you can eat it and a certain point where you can't. So you have to bend it, and wherever it naturally breaks, it is at that point. That is where all the good asparagus is. All this is bad. So what I do is I break one up, I layer them all down together, make sure they're all the same height, and I cut around the same size. And as you can see, guys, it's around the same size, and therefore they'll cook relatively at the same time. I'm gonna chop these up a little bit and leave those right there. All right. Zucchini time. Now, zucchini gets a bad rap sometimes because a lot of people don't know it's a squash, but it is. And its flavor profile is similar to a yellow squash, but it's a little bit firmer, and it cooks a little bit firmer. So that's why I kind of save these toward the last thing, because I love the texture, and I don't want them to almost stew down in the curry. I want them to be a little bit vibrant, and I want them to have more texture. The yellow squash, I'm looking for that to cook down a little bit. That's why I added what I did. All right. So, the next thing. Remember I told you guys that I did some fresh garlic and fresh ginger, and I make a mix of it. Now, I'm known for doing things like that. In my first video, if you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch it. I'll show you guys how you can take your ginger without peeling it, as long as you're washing it, and put it right into your food chopper with your garlic and make you a nice little garlic ginger blend, all right? Now, I put this in toward the middle of the dish because I don't want to cook out the flavor of that garlic and that ginger, okay? I want my garlic and ginger to be prevalent in the dish, and so that's why I add it toward the middle. All right? Now, by doing that, I'm making sure that my garlic and my ginger is prevalent in the dish. Sometimes when you're cooking curries and different things like that, your curry and your garlic can get lost in the mix, and so I'm doing that so to make sure that it doesn't get lost in the mix. I want to taste it. I'm all about flavor, guys. Flavor, flavor, flavor. And because of that, I cook my my vegetables and my herbs and all my flavor detonators at a different time. That way, you can assure that I get the flavors that I want to come through in my curry to come out. All right? All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, it's starting to come to a boil, and it's also starting to reduce. So as you see, I didn't use that much of my curry spice blend, but I used enough so that when it mixes with the stock and the coconut milk, it'll reduce and it'll be just enough curry. I don't like dishes that are so curry heavy that you can't taste anything else, like any of the vegetables or anything that goes in it. All right? Now, with everything that's in there, I still haven't added much salt because I used a stock that was already fortified and totally seasoned, and I had coconut milk, and I had all the natural juices from the vegetables, the sausage, the kale. All these things is contributing to my stock and my curry while it's reducing. So I'm gonna wait to do salt and pepper at the end so I can make sure I get all my flavors there. Sometimes salt and pepper allows you to get things, lost in the mix. All right, so now guys, the only thing that's left to cut is the celery. This cabbage. Now this cabbage, I'm only going to use a smaller piece of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my broccoli to make room on my cutting board. Okay. Now these two things can go in. It's going to be two of the last things that goes in. All right. And I'm using this little small cutting board because, quite frankly, I like the round cutting boards. I'm only going to use a little bit of this. I don't need a lot because this is a finishing touch. The dish doesn't necessarily need it, but I like to put it in close toward the end so that it stays a little. I still have a little bit of crunch in my celery. In my cabbage, and it makes the dish much better. All right. Now, back to this cooking here. I have 2 tablespoons of onion powder and 2 tablespoons of garlic powder that I have in here, and I mix them up. I'm known for having little mixes and things like that, and that's what I usually use off of because it just makes everything easier to season when I mix it together. Now, guys, don't feel afraid to make your own spice blends. I mean, you have all the seasonings in your pantry. Use them. I know a lot of you guys have Lowry's and all the seasoning from our our childhood. Take those things and mix them with some things that you like, with some curries, and create some new flavor profiles and some new spice blends. That's what food and cooking is all about. So don't be afraid to do it. It is reducing. All right, you want to taste it? Check the salt. It's pretty good. Pepper here, salt here. I don't need much, just a little bit. And just allow it to cook. Now also, guys, one of the things I will teach you about cooking, you also clean as you go. Keep things clean. That way, you don't have to worry about cleaning so much around the end. Everything will be ready to go. And you can just throw them away. All right. Smells good, looks good. Now, when I taste the stock, I can taste all of the flavors I put in there. I can taste all the vegetables. I can taste my garlic and ginger. I can taste my kale. And it's delicious. It's just the way it should be. A little bit of light curry. And we're gonna reduce it down. It's not gonna be much longer. I wish you guys can smell this. My gosh, it smells great. Okay, all right, guys. So while this is cooking, I'm going to get a few other things ready, and then I'll come back, and then I'm going to show you the little added trick that I'm going to put into this dish at the end. That's going to just kick it up a total notch. All right. So I'll see you guys in a couple seconds. All right, guys, we're back, and our curry is cooking beautifully. It's been cooking for around 13 to 14 minutes, and as you can see, it's already starting to thicken because of our coconut milk and our curry and everything starting to reduce. And as things reduce, you hear me say reduction or reduce a lot, and when I say that, reducing intensifies flavors, whether it's stock or a sauce or a soup, whatever the case may be. It intensifies those flavors, excuse me. It makes it better. Now, as you can see, my sauce is getting nice and thick. Is at this point, I only have maybe 5 more minutes of cooking, if that. Now, my zucchini goes in, my asparagus, and my cabbage. And something I didn't even tell you guys I was going to be cooking with, shrimp. I'm going to put that right on in there. Now, I suggest you guys devein and take all your shells off of your shrimp before you put them in here, or you'll be taking them off at the end. All right. Now, there's enough heat residual to cook the shrimp, but that's why I turned up a little bit so that it can cook a little bit more. But the whole point of it is so that the cabbage still has some crunch to it, the zucchini still has a little bit of body left in it, and the asparagus just isn't mush, because it only takes a few seconds for asparagus to go from perfect to disgusting. Now see, this is a very hearty dish, guys. Smells delightful. Now, I almost can turn this off and allow the residual heat to cook everything. But because, you know, it is always safe to be, you know, it is always better to be safe, I'm going to turn up to high heat so I can get one last bubble coming from this. Here it comes. Smells great. My shrimps are almost cooked. Now, shrimp don't take long to cook, guys. And it takes a few seconds to overcook your shrimp. When your shrimp become, when you can see the sides starting to curl a little bit and they're starting to become opaque, you're almost there. And that is the best way to have your shrimp. But the longer that you cook shrimp, the more rubberier it becomes. And it's just not good. All right. We're almost ready, guys. Now on the side here, I made some rice a little bit earlier. And usually when my rice is done, some people put a top on theirs. I like to wrap mine with plastic because when the steam finishes, it also, the air gets sucked out and it makes a little seal for my rice, and that rice stays hot with that seal. Perfect. Now, as this comes back to a boil, this is very hearty. It's nice and thick. Be ready to go. Now, this curry, I made it with shrimp, but I could have just easily made it with crawfish, salmon, lobster. Any seafood would work great here because it wouldn't take long for it to cook. Especially some scallops. After I got a real good sear on them, or maybe some baby scallops, the ones that you don't really necessarily have to sear. You can just put them in a dish and they'll cook just fine. But be creative. Don't be afraid. Don't follow the rules, guys. Rules are made to be broken. Believe that. All right? All right, smelling good, looking good. Let that come to a quick little boil while I get everything ready to plate. So have me a nice little guitar pick serving vessel. I pull my plastic off of my rice, and as you can see, my rice is perfectly cooked. If there was any liquid in the bottom of it, it absorbed into the rice, so the rice is very, very fluffy. And that's it. All right. As you can see, this came to a little boil. Shrimp are fully cooked. Zucchini, squash, cabbage, asparagus, just the way I like it. I'm gonna start plating this up. Oh yeah, just the way it should be. Awesome. So I'm gonna put a little bit of rice here. Rice on the bottom. Now I believe that food should look as good as it tastes. It doesn't matter if your food is delicious. If it looks like crap, nobody wants to taste it. And it might be delicious, but it's not going in my mouth. All right. So now I turn this off. I'm gonna bring my dish over here. And now I can start to plate here. As you can see, it's thick, it's hearty, just the way it should be. I'm gonna start to plate it. Now I'm gonna make sure I get a little bit of everything. Don't worry, I'll clean up that spot. I wish you can smell and taste this, guys. This smells and it tastes delicious. I can already tell. You guys ever been able to smell something and can smell that it's right? This is one of those dishes. All right. I like a lot of shrimp. We're gonna put a lot of shrimp in there. Now, whatever I drip on the side, that is okay, because before presentation, I'm going to clean it all off. Let me get a little bit of that broccoli in there. Yeah. A little more piece of this broccoli. Yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. Looks great, guys. I'm gonna take my little towel here, and we're gonna clean it, clean the sides, because we eat with our eyes, guys. Always remember, we eat with our eyes. Okay. Awesome. Even have to get that other spot too. Now, I'm gonna take it right back here. All right, and I got some fresh cilantro here. Now this cilantro I use at the end because I want to use it as a little bit of garnish, but also the flavor goes quite well with the curry. I'm going to take a few leaves off. I'm just going to break them on top of there. Pretty simple dish, guys. Delicious, hearty, satisfying, and super flavorful. And that's what it's all about. So, until next time, you guys eat well, eat often, and please like my video and subscribe to my channel. And I'm gonna come back every week with awesome cooking techniques and recipes that you can do at home, and don't be afraid to try and experiment with new things. That's what life is about. So, here it is. Take this away. Presentation is key, guys. That's it. Vegetable curry with shrimp. Damn, that looks good. Fat boy out.